how of getting the what. Now let's dive into
What is operations, and why is it so important to a startup business? What is with all the fuss around it? Can a business do without a clean operational flow?
In this episode, we explore answers to these questions and many more good stuff you want to know as a startup owner or staff. What is operations? Let's explore the basics.
Operations in the context of a business refer to the set of processes, systems, and activities that are designed to create, to deliver, and support a product or a service. It covers everything from manufacturing to supply chain management to customer service and internal workflows. Essentially, operations ensure that a company's resources are utilized efficiently to achieve its goals and deliver value to their customers or target audience or target markets. Operations is the how of getting the what. Now let's dive into what this statement means. In business, we have the what, which is a vision. What are you in business to do? The why, which is the strategic goals and business purpose or objective. The who, which is who is your solution for? And the how are you going to do this? Operations is the how your what and why come to reality. It is with the understanding of operations management that clean processes can be created. Next, we look at the definitions of operations by some scholars in the field. Some management scholars and experts have defined operations in the past. So let's explore some definitions, shall we? The first is Peter Drucker, who is considered to be the father of modern management. And he was one of the most influential management thinkers of the 20th century. And his ideas have had a profound impact in business management till today. And he defined operations as operations are not the whole of business, but they are the whole of most businesses. What he's trying to say in essence is that operations is the lifeline that businesses execute their activities from top to bottom. It might not be the entire business, but most businesses rely wholly on how efficient their operations works. The next person we'll examine is Roger Skimner. Roger defined operations as the design, operation, and improvement of the systems that create and deliver the firm's primary products and services. The next definition we'll explore is Jay Heiser and Barry Render. They both defined operations management as a systematic design, direction, and control of processes that transform inputs into services and products for internal as well as external customers. I hope you know that in every business you have internal customers and external customers. Internal customers include your employees, your staff. And then external customers is obviously the open market. There are products that a business can be producing, but the staff members are not so confident about the product or buy into the viability of the product. So you must make sure that both your internal customers value your product as well as your external customers. A little bit of a secret here is, if your internal customers don't value your product or see value in the product, they will not be able to sell it or push it or build systems that will help your business thrive to the external customers. This is just a little tip. We can dive into that in another episode. Next definition is from Nigel Slack, Stuart Chambers, and Robert Johnston. And they defined operations management as the activity of managing the resources that create and deliver services and products. The next definition is Russell and Taylor. They shared that operations management is a set of activities that create value in the form of goods and services by transforming input into output. Elwood S. Buffer defines operations management as systematic direction and control of processes that transform resources into finished goods and services. These definitions highlight the multifaceted nature of operations, emphasizing its role in designing, managing, and improving processes to create value through the production and delivery of goods and services. Operations management encompasses a range of activities from strategic planning to day-to-day execution with the goal of achieving efficiency, effectiveness, and customer satisfaction. Please note these three key deliverables of operations management. Number 1, efficiency. Number 2, effectiveness. Number 3, customer satisfaction. Now, let's categorize operations. In operations management, there are what we call the 4 V's. The 4 V's are the things that give operations its pillars and focus for execution. They help to describe and categorize different aspects of operations within a business. The first V, it stands for volume. Volume refers to the quantity of products or services that a business produces or delivers. Why is volume important? Understanding volume helps in designing efficient processes and determining the capacity requirements of production or service delivery. So how does this apply to you practically? If the processes for managing a customer base of 100 is different from managing a customer base of 1 million. But with your growth path in mind, you would design a process that manages the customers that you serve now and the customers you intend to serve in the future or in the near future. Moving on to the next V, we have variety. Variety in operations relates to the diversity or complexity of products or services that a business offers. And what does it mean? How does it apply to you as a business owner or a staff in a startup? Managing variety involves adapting operations to handle different products or service specifications, which can both impact production processes, the supply chain management, and also resource allocation. The next V is talking about the variation in demand. Variation in demand in V is talking about the variation in demand. Variation in demand in operations management refers to the degree of fluctuation or variability in customer demand for products or services over time. As we know, every season comes with its own variation in demand. If you're in the food business, you know that during festivities is the time where there is a higher demand for catering services than other periods of the year. If you're also in the technology business, you identify that there are peak times for your product, the problem that your tech solves, or the service that it delivers different from other times. And so your operations demand or your operation variation in demand, how to plug in sustainably. Now, what is the significance of variation in demand to a startup business owner or staff? Operations needs to be flexible. Operations needs to be flexible enough to handle changes in demand, whether it's due to seasonality, market trends, or other factors. Strategies such as inventory management and capacity planning are crucial to address variations in demand. So let me tell you a short story. In my time managing a restaurant chain, it was Children's Day, and normally during Children's Day, parents always come in to buy their kids a treat. Most of the parents go for snacks, and the highest selling snack based on price and also taste for children is donuts. So during Children's Day, we were underprepared, and what had happened was we used the daily order for donuts that day, and by the time the day had gone half, we were out of donuts and we had to start looking for substitutes for donuts. So the following year, we stocked up on donuts just to make sure that Children's Day donut order was covered. We did 150 pieces of the donuts. For that year, surprisingly, the highest selling item was jollof rice, and the donuts, we only were able to sell half of it, and the rest we had to return back into production to be resold, to be reprocessed for another product. So the variation in demand tells us that the prediction of food items should be preparation for the changes in customer demand per time. So with your business model, you must understand the significance for capacity and also for inventory management. So moving on, the next V, we talk about visibility. Visibility refers to the level of transparency and information available throughout the supply chain or production process. So what does this mean to you? Why is it important? High visibility allows for better monitoring and control of operations, facilitating quicker decision making. This is particularly important in today's business environment where real-time information is crucial for effective management. As a decision maker in your startup business, you should be able to access information about your business. You shouldn't be blind or unaware of the changes and the flow of activities in your business throughout the entire production process and your supply chain. Your staff should not be more aware of your business flow than you are. Otherwise, important decisions and control will be delayed, and also errors will be done because you don't have a full, transparent visibility of how your business operates. Most business owners may not have the strength to go in nitty-gritty into everything that their business operations entail, but overall, you need to know how the engine works, how different units exchange hands, and the flow that is needed for them to work like a well-oiled machine. Otherwise, your decisions will be biased and will be made from a personal point of view rather than from a holistic visibility point of view. So these are the 4 V's. Now that we've talked about the 4 V's, let's summarize. These 4 V's help operations managers and businesses tailor their strategies and systems to meet the specific challenges and the requirements to solve them. For example, A business with high volume and low variety may focus on achieving economies of scale in production. Economies of scale is basically mass production and targeted sales distribution strategies as against customized distribution strategy. Right? And then while a business with high variety and low volume might prioritize the flexibility and customization in its operations. Now, understanding and managing these 4 V's can lead to a more effective and efficient operations. They also help businesses align their processes with the unique demands of their product, service, and market conditions. These are very important aspects of tailoring your 4 V's to give you the operational flow that you need. So, these are important aspects that you must ask yourself and answer those questions in order to have an operations flow that best gives you efficiency, effectiveness, and customer satisfaction, as we have stated earlier. Here are several reasons why operations are crucial to a startup business. Number 1, efficiency and cost management. As we know, startup stages are the stages where you are very cost conscious and you want to make sure that you are maximizing the capital that you have to the best of what you can do and stretch it for as long as it can be stretched. So efficiency and cost management is really crucial for startup operations at this stage. Well-designed operations help streamline processes, reduce waste, and optimize resource allocation, leading to cost savings. Find that the reverse is usually the case. You first of all tackle trying to send a product to market before identifying how your operations flow should work. So we hope that by this video you will learn the correct order of managing your business. You first design a proper operations flow before you identify your go-to-market or launch your product strategy. Efficient operations contribute to better profit margins and are critical for startups with limited financial resources. So, if you don't tackle the flow of operations in your business early, you will end up leaking profits later on, and not just that, you would end up, worst case scenario, having to start afresh because your reality of business operations may not be able to carry the volumes or the product or service volume that you intend to reach. So, let's move on to the next reason. The next reason for setting up operations in your business or having a proper operations flow in your business is quality control. Operations plays a key role in maintaining and enhancing the quality of products or services that your business brings out. Consistent quality builds trust among customers and contributes to a positive brand image. Operations is the key to designing a very effective and active quality control system. The next reason is customer satisfaction. Smooth operations ensure that products or services are delivered to customers on time and meet their expectations. Satisfied customers are more likely to become repeat customers and advocates for the business. This is a no-brainer. The next reason is scalability. A solid operational foundation allows a startup to scale its operations as it grows. If you miss your foundational operational structure, growth will become very difficult, especially even after you've pumped in a lot of seed capital. Picture a skyscraper being built, or picture a bungalow, a skyscraper that started with a bungalow, and then the foundation that was built was the foundation for a bungalow. That skyscraper will most likely not stand. So when you want to build a skyscraper, in this case your business goal and vision, and you are starting at the bungalow stage, you want to make sure that the foundation that you are setting in place for your operations is a skyscraper operational foundation, so that while you build, all you need to do is top up with your levels and your decks, as against having to dig up your initial foundation to start all over again, meaning that all of the resources you have expelled to get to that point will be waste. So it's crucial to get it right the first time. The next reason is adaptability to change. Operations that are agile and adaptable help a business respond to changes in the market and technology or customer preferences. This adaptability is particularly important for startups in a dynamic and competitive environment. So you want to make sure that your operations is smart enough to metamorphose and shift into what it needs to be for your present day reality. The next is resource allocation. We have talked about resource allocation earlier as one of the important outcomes of the 4 V's. So we've talked about resource allocation now as a reason why having solid operations is crucial. Operations help you to allocate resources efficiently, ensuring that the right people, equipment, and materials are available when needed. Effective resource management is vital for startups, and especially those with limited resources. The next reason, risk management. A well-organized framework enables a business to identify and mitigate risk effectively. This is crucial for avoiding disruptions and ensuring continuity in the face of unexpected challenges. If your operations flow and structure is solid, it will make provisions for risk and exposure and will give you the ability to rise above your risk and manage and mitigate them effectively. The next and final reason we'll talk about today is your competitive advantage. Sometime in the past, we were hired to design the flow for an industrial kitchen. And the biggest problem of this industrial kitchen was not the product, but its operations. There were other businesses in the same field with this, and it was mostly a saturated business area, because there are so many industrial kitchens today. If you go on Instagram or Google and or any search engine and search for catering services or industrial kitchens, so many endless lists will come up that tells you how saturated the food industry is. And so what that means is the profit margins are very limited because you have competition. Now, the lifeline of profit management or profit margin maximization for industrial kitchens is ensuring that your operational structure allows your production costs to be under control. You don't want to be churning out food and just being able to keep your business afloat without taking any profits. And so a lot of the profit of this business was going into waste and theft. And so we had to redesign a flow that affected control, and that way they were able to save on costs and begin to do a lot of promotions, a lot of leverage to be able to offer cheaper prices and bundles, and eventually that gave them a competitive edge. So efficient operations can provide a competitive edge by allowing a startup to offer better prices, faster delivery, or superior quality compared to competitors. While it might be technically possible for a business to operate without a clean operational flow, it will likely face numerous challenges as we see today, especially in the technology startup area. It will be in constant firefighting mode. Inefficient operations can lead to increased cost, delays, customer dissatisfaction, and an overall negative impact on the business's viability and sustainability. In the competitive startup landscape, especially in the technology sector, having well-organized and effective operations is not just beneficial, but often a prerequisite for long-term success. It allows startups to navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and build a foundation for growth. I hope that in this episode, you've been able to understand the foundational concepts of operations in a startup environment and operations management overall. If you have questions or comments, please put it in the chat box. If you also want us to consult with you in a more personal capacity, please feel free to send us an email at info.opsbychizim@gmail.com, and we'll be sure to respond to you. Till we meet again.
Hi, this is Ops by Chizim, also known as OBC. Follow us on this journey to answer the questions that have been on your mind as a founder, co-founder, investor, or employee of a startup.